Hey everyone, it's Dr. Russell, and we're back for videos for 2021. And I wanted to start off with a question that I see pretty much in every new patient visit, and it's how to know if the supplements I'm taking are good quality, or rather, people come in with a bag or a box of supplements and say, what am I taking that is working or helping and what is crap? So we know that the FDA does not regulate supplements currently. So there is a lot of variation in quality, and there's a lot of not so good supplements and a lot of some good supplements. And so it's hard as a consumer to kind of figure out which is which. And the recent, I think, statistics are in the next 4 years, the supplement industry will grow to $200 billion. So there's more and more people getting into the supplement field and kind of seeing that they can make money from it. But unfortunately, with that comes people that aren't making good quality supplements, and it's really just a bunch of marketing. So I wanted to give you a few tips to at least help you feel a little more confident when it comes to picking supplements. Obviously, this is something I spend a lot of time on and have learned, a lot from school and my own research. So I can't give you all my wisdom as much as I would love to do that, but I did want to distill it down to a couple things that hopefully, again, make you feel a little more confident when it comes to picking out a supplement or not. So the first thing, and I have a supplement here as an example, I really like this brand, Nordic Naturals, so they are not a bad one. I just wanted to have an example of how to kind of go through a label and read everything. So the first thing obviously is looking at the front of it. I pretty much just ignore all the marketing tactics on things here. So whatever it says, I'm really just looking at what type of supplement is it? Is it a B complex, a fish oil, CoQ10? Like, what is the supplement that we're talking about? Because again, a lot of the stuff on the front is marketing, which makes sense. But if there are any things on here, I pretty much ignore that. So the other thing, I guess, from starting from the front too, to consider is price. So just because something is crazy expensive does not make it crazy good. Again, that could come down to marketing and, demand. So I don't necessarily think because a supplement is reasonably priced, that makes it bad. Just like I don't think because a supplement is super expensive, that makes it really good. So, really don't take price as an account for good quality or not, because I've seen people spend a ridiculous amount of money on supplements because they thought they were good quality. So that's kind of the front. So really just all we're going for is what is it, or what is it supposed to be? And then when we go to the back, we have the back here that has supplement facts as well as other ingredients. So just like in nutrition, when we talk about nutrition, my beginning focus of what I look at is the ingredients list, and I'm really using it as my first screen. So if this is, for example, a B complex, I really don't want to see a whole lot of other stuff in this. So like a B complex should not have added sugar, which I see a lot in vitamins is maltodextrin. There are going to be a few added things to make up the capsule or whatever is in there. But if you see things like I think the other day I said Rice Bran Hull or, some other things that were very obviously fillers just to make the supplement seem like there was more in it. So that is a big no-no. So if you see the ingredients list that is 20 things long and some of them just aren't making any sense of why they would be in there, that's probably not a good supplement brand or product to use. So that's kind of my first thing that I look at. The next thing on here on this side is the daily value list. I pretty much ignore that because, to be honest, daily value for me doesn't tell me a whole lot. I really look at the milligrams or the dosages themselves for a lot of things, just because I've had people say, oh, it has 100% daily value. That's great. For me, most people come in because they need more therapeutic doses. So I'm going more off the milligrams or micrograms or, whatever dosages we're looking at. So I just ignore the daily value. That's really not telling me a whole lot. The other thing to consider on the supplement facts is at the top for serving size. So there might be a supplement where, it looks good. It's got the right amount of things that you're looking for. but you have to take maybe 6 a day to get that amount, and there's only maybe 30 in the bottle. And so cost wise, maybe it looks good, but then when you do the math, you realize, okay, I'm going to run out in a couple of weeks and I'm going to have to buy more. So, that's something else to consider on the serving size. Is it just 1 or 2 gets you these values, or is it like 6 or 10 or something insane? So that's something else to kind of look at. Then when we actually look at the supplement facts themselves, I was mentioning the dosages, like the milligrams, micrograms, all that. I don't have time to, again, impart all that wisdom today. So there's a couple things at the end I'll talk about specifically. But another kind of, I guess, red flag, so to speak, is anything that says proprietary, I tend to shy away from. And I've seen it more recently with certain probiotics where they have a proprietary blend of certain strains of probiotics in there, and they tell you that maybe there's, 100 milligrams total, but they don't tell you how many colonies per capsule that translates to, which for probiotics, that's the language of the probiotic, is a colony forming unit, or CFU. So that's a red flag. If something's proprietary or herbs or something like that, that doesn't really help us because we don't know if we're getting enough of a dosage that's therapeutic. And I would suspect maybe it's not, because they might be honest about it and open. So anything that says proprietary, I would also probably shy away from. So those are kind of the main things in general. So again, just ignore the marketing, notice what it is, look to see that there's not a bunch of added ingredients in there. If there's something like soy, or again, any sugars, or just a long list of stuff that it doesn't need to, if it's a B complex, again, like it doesn't need to have a bunch of things in there per se as the inactive ingredients. So that's a big red flag. Ignore the daily value. We're looking more for the milligrams or micrograms, or the dosages themselves. You want to go with the serving size. Make sure it's reasonable, that you can take, just a couple. You don't have to take a crazy amount. And then also looking at, ignoring, or not ignoring, but looking at price and making sure that it's, super expensive does not translate into good quality. So I want to give a couple of examples of things specifically for very common supplements I see that I look for to help you get some more information when it comes to narrowing the field on this. So the first one I want to talk about is for a multivitamin. So again, ignoring the daily value, you want to look at kind of the milligrams. And the main thing I would say that is a real easy screen that I do for most multis is I look specifically to see what forms of folate and B12 they're in. So if folate is listed as folic acid, that is synthetic. So that is going to be a cheaper type of folate. So folic acid is synthetic, which we see it put in a lot of foods, which is unfortunate. The other one is B12, which you will see, which is synthetic, as cyanocobalamin, CYANO. So if I see either of those, I'm really not kind of like, I don't think this is going to be the right multivitamin for this person. So not only because it's synthetic, but not to get too much into genetics, but half the population have an issue with things like folic acid. They can't genetically metabolize those with MTHFR. So that's kind of a big screen. I just assume most people have issues since, again, at least based on research, at least half the people probably in the population have an issue. So that's an easy screen for a multivitamin. And I will tell you, probably most multivitamins do use folic acid and cyanocobalamin. And you could use those as well when you look for a B complex, because those are both B vitamins. So that's one specific. The other, like I said, for probiotic, if it says proprietary blend, which I've seen in some of the more popular probiotics, that's a big red flag and a no-no for me. And then the last one that I have specifically is fish oil. So two things with this is, one, I want to make sure that it doesn't just say total omega-3s on here. I want to know specifically how much of the EPA and DHA are in there. So those are the more active forms of the omega-3. And then the last thing that I'm always looking for, I guess maybe the first thing for fish oil, is the type of fish. they get it from. So if I start seeing fish that are not anchovies and sardines on the list, so maybe mackerel or I forget some of the other fish on there, but larger fish, that's definitely a red flag when it comes to fish oil, because we know fish will, and many animals will bioaccumulate things like, for fish specifically, mercury. So that's why we want to use smaller fish, because they're less likely to contain high amounts of mercury, when it's especially important when it comes to fish oil. So hopefully that was helpful. So again, we're taking price into account in that more expensive doesn't necessarily mean better, ignoring all the marketing hype, looking at what's in the other ingredients, also ignoring the daily value and looking more specifically to what the dosage is, like the milligrams or micrograms or whatever it is. If there's something proprietary, maybe not such a good fit. And then, looking at the serving size to make sure it's, you're getting a reasonable amount for what's in the product. So, and then, obviously we talked about some specifics. So if you have any other questions, I can do my best to answer them, but hopefully, again, that makes you just feel a little bit more confident when you're going through supplements, as a quick screen, just to kind of say, okay, no, this isn't good, or maybe this does seem reasonable. So hopefully, again, that was helpful. Please let me know. And then we're going to do a more sustainable schedule this year and try that out, at least for the beginning. So we'll be doing videos every other week. So I won't see you next week, but I will see you the following week. And we have some good videos lined up. So I hope you all have a good rest of your week, and I will see you in 2 weeks.